So I got an email from a student who wanted me to explain a little bit why diksha, or initiation, is necessary for someone doing spiritual practice. A lot of people have this question. They may be doing a practice that they've read about in a book, that they've learned from a video on the YouTube, or from a teacher in a yoga school, or from a priest in a temple. And they're doing this practice, and they wonder if the practice is having any results, and they wonder if it's necessary to have the initiation from a spiritual teacher. Initiation is necessary in any practice, whether it's asana practice, or a mantra practice, or a puja practice. Some form of diksha is very necessary. If a person wants to drive a car, it makes sense to be sure that there's gas in the car. If a person wants to write a check, it's good to have money in the bank account. Doing any spiritual practice without diksha is very much like trying to drive a car without gas in it, or writing a check when there's no money in the bank account. It may be possible to make some little progress doing a practice without diksha, but generally it's not possible. And the reason for that is this. When a person does a spiritual practice without any desire, without any ego, then they'll invoke the spiritual energies very powerfully with that practice. If there's desire, if there's ego, this will limit the energy that comes through the practice. Now we do practice to transmute the desires, not to get rid of the desires. Desire is good, we all have some desires. But if you have to desire something, desire God. Desire spiritual realization. This is the point of spiritual practice. The person without any desire, he'll say the mantra and it will have very much shakti, very much power. But he may not need to do the practice because he's very much with God already. Most gurus today are not giving diksha to the masses of people, though you can go to many gurus and attain diksha very easily, or some initiation. This is somewhat different. If people come, they may make a donation. They donate $100, they get in line, and hundreds of people on the same day, they may have a little teaching, and on the same day they're given a mantra, given a yoga practice. This is different than diksha in a traditional sense. Diksha is something which can be given only to a very serious student. In the Sanskrit word diksha, there's a connotation of a serious dedication, a single-minded focus. After diksha, the practice will tear into the ego, and it may not be good for material prosperity in all cases. A traditional guru will test a student for many years maybe before bestowing diksha. And so, when the initiation is given to a big group of people, we must understand this is something different than diksha in a traditional sense. This is not so much of a spiritual initiation as a blessing. Many gurus will give a blessing to the students who are still working with very much ego, and they may be very dedicated to their practice, and they also have some desires in the world. It's good for them to keep working through their karmas in the world. Not good for them to renounce everything. It may be too much to expect for them. And that's okay. That's where they are. And so they come to the Guru and they get a blessing for their practice. Ashirvadam instead of diksha. Many gurus call this diksha. But this is more of a blessing. Still, this is very helpful. Because this blessing, this ashirvadam, will energize the practice. The Guru lends their desirelessness, their purity, their desire to serve the world rather than serve the self. They lend this quality to energize the practice of the students. And when mantra is given as a blessing, when a yoga practice is given as a blessing, then things start to happen. The ego starts to shift. People start to have a vision of the divine. Slowly, slowly. They may not be totally dedicated on account of many qualities within the mind, still keeping them bound to the body and bound to the world. They may have a lack of confidence, and so as they do this practice after the blessing, they'll start to get confidence from doing that practice. This prepares them for diksha. Gurus also give the blessing of darshan. When you see a guru, this is a blessing. You see the guru and you see the divine qualities acting through the guru. And the Guru sees you, and the Guru sees the karmas which are binding you to the body. As the Guru sees this, the devotee also starts to see this. This is darshanam, this is a blessing. Many times the Guru intentionally will give a blessing in addition to this darshanam. This is an ashirvadam. This is why in the presence of a Guru, just to sit in the presence, the practice you do every day, is many, many times more powerful. After initiation, a practice will be many, many times more powerful. You may have to say a mantra hundreds of millions of times to start to invoke the energy of that mantra. It may take hundreds of lifetimes to unfold from within the power of the mantra. But with the Guru's blessing, quickly, the karmas that it may take otherwise 100 lifetimes to get rid of start to come off in a matter of days or weeks or months. As the student continues that practice that's been energized by the Guru, they start to be uplifted from the things that prevent them from energizing the practice for themselves. For anyone who is seriously seeking to humble their ego, they must come to a Guru and get the blessing to the practice. Many Gurus give this blessing in different ways. And so you must find the Guru who is there and who you feel drawn to, who has the practices you enjoy, that give you the faith and devotion. And ask that Guru for the initiation. And he may send you on a wild goose chase and prepare you for many years. He may tell you have to do these things first. He may tell you, no, I won't give you this blessing, this mantra. But don't worry, he's preparing you. It's worth seeking. The person who cannot humble themselves before a Guru cannot humble themselves to the divine within. If the practice comes from the ego, it will be fruitless. But when the practice comes from beyond the ego, it will uplift you from what binds you. Om. Om Yo दीक्षामतिरेचयति सप्ताहं प्रचरन्ति सप्तवैश्यसैन्याः प्राणान् दीक्षा प्राणैरेवा प्राणान् दीक्षामवरुन्धे